Welcome to Couchbase Connect 2015. Thank you to all of you who have joined here at beautiful Levi Stadium, a very unique place for this event. And thank you to all the people who are watching remotely via live stream. The size and the growth of the Couchbase community continues to blow me away. We have more than 2,000 people that are registered to attend over the next couple of days here. And we have more than 4,000 people that will be watching versus the live streaming, something we're doing for the first time. It's great to have you all as a part of the Couchbase community. You know, we live in very exciting times from both the technology and a business perspective. The digital economy has been with us for more than 20 years, and its impact on the world is only accelerating, and the opportunities associated with it have never seemed more immense. The work that you're doing, the applications and the services that you're building are a key part of this transformation. Now, in the brief time that I have this morning, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that are driving these changes and also provide some perspective on what Couchbase is doing to help you to be successful in your digital economy businesses. Now, the digital economy started around 1995. And it is, of course, an economy that's enabled by the internet that allows companies to build new kinds of businesses that allow them to sell to and interact with their customers. Now, we previously really thought about the digital economy as being about internet companies. Companies like Amazon and eBay and PayPal, maybe more recently Uber or Airbnb. But as the years have gone by, it's become increasingly apparent that every company in virtually every vertical needs to build digital economy businesses or be disrupted by others that do. There are many, many examples of this. One of my favorites is retail banking. I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time I visited a local branch of my bank. And if you're Citi or Chase or Wells Fargo, you're increasingly closing down more and more of your physical branches and making bigger and bigger investments in web and mobile banking, in allowing you to make payments online, allowing you to fill out mortgage applications online, etc. Increasingly, the retail banking business is a digital economy business. The same is true, of course, in the travel industry. We all make our airline reservations and hotel and car rental reservations online. We check in online. Virtually everything we do associated with our travel is now done online. It's another example of an industry that's become a digital economy business. I could, of course, go on and talk about many other verticals. The key point is virtually every company in every industry needs to build digital economy businesses or be disrupted by others that do. Now, the digital economy started in 1995. It's had a disruptive impact on the world, certainly through the 90s and the early 2000s. But I think that there have been big changes in just the last 5 or 7 years that I'd like to spend a few minutes to talk about. The first big change in the digital economy is the way that companies are delivering their software and monetizing it. It wasn't that long ago that the dominant model was packaged software that was monetized using a perpetual license model. Of course, that is changing very, very rapidly and has been over the last several years. You've now got companies, for example, in the business-to-business software space like Salesforce and Workday and many others that are now the rising stars, and the old packaged software solutions like PeopleSoft and Siebel are in rapid decline. The Microsofts and the Oracles and the SAPs of the world are scrambling now to move their packaged software businesses to the cloud with software-as-a-service business models. The key point here is that major industries are rapidly moving into the digital economy, and the opportunities in the digital economy have never been bigger than they are today. Another example of this in the consumer space is, of course, casual games. It's really not that long ago that to play casual games, we loaded a CD into our PCs and played it there. Of course, today, the Zyngas and Electronic Arts and Rovios and Kings of the world are the leaders in the social and mobile gaming industry, all delivering casual games using a cloud-based model, and in their case, an ad-driven and in-game purchase monetization model. Again, big industries moving to the cloud, moving into the digital economy. A second key aspect of the digital economy that's changing is the level of scale that you have to operate your digital economy businesses. It's really not that long ago that there were a relatively small number of people that were connected to the internet, and those people that were connected accessed the internet relatively few times per day. Of course, that's all now changed, particularly in the last 5 or 7 years. You have more than 3 billion people connected to the internet and growing rapidly. You have more than 14 billion devices connected. And of course, due to the advent of smartphones, you've got people online constantly throughout the day, to the point where they're now spending almost 6 hours a day on the internet. This is driving huge scale. We used to think of internet scale as really just being about the Amazons and Googles and Facebooks of the world. But today, even medium-sized digital economy businesses need to operate at internet scale. They need to support tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of simultaneous users and make sure that their applications stay up and running. NoSQL and Couchbase have played important roles in helping companies through this transition and make sure that they can scale their businesses to these new kinds of levels. A third key area of significant change in the digital economy is the importance of data in order to deliver the great user experiences that people have come to expect when they're online. In the early 2000s, customers really had no expectation of a personalized user experience online. But particularly over the last 5 or 7 years, that's completely changed. Customers online now expect highly personalized, highly contextualized, location-aware user experiences, and companies that don't deliver those experiences can be quickly left behind. As a result, you have to store and process huge amounts and increasingly large amounts of information, often unstructured information, all to fuel your data-centric features and applications. And again, this is an area where NoSQL industry and Couchbase have played an important role in helping companies through this transition. Now, since 1995, there's certainly been a lot of disruption, and as I mentioned earlier, I think that disruption is only accelerating. And whether you're in the retail industry, the media, travel, transportation, music, education, financial services, dining, or many, many industries, increasingly you need to build digital economy businesses. The great news is that there's an enormous opportunity here. Multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. This chart just shows 3 of the bigger areas. Sharing services expected to be more than a $300 billion industry by 2025. The business-to-business e-commerce and business-to-consumer retail industries expected to be about $2.5 trillion over the next few years. And the Internet of Things expected to grow to over $7 trillion by 2020. So the opportunities are immense in the digital economy. But while the opportunities are immense, in order to create a successful digital economy business, you have to be able to provide great web, mobile, and IoT applications. These applications are at the heart of your business. They're the way that you interact with your customers, your partners, your supply chain. And your operational database is absolutely crucial to delivering great web, mobile, and IoT applications. They are one of the key engines that drive the millions of real-time interactions that happen as a part of your digital economy business every day. We believe that NoSQL is a better alternative than relational databases for the needs of today's web, mobile, and IoT applications. And Couchbase wants to be your preferred vendor for providing this NoSQL technology and providing that for most, if not all, of your web, mobile, and IoT applications. We're working hard with every release to continue to put the features and capabilities in place in our product in order to be able to support a much broader set of use cases and application types so that we can be your preferred vendor and support all of your digital economy businesses. In order to do that, we think we need to focus on at least 6 key things to help you to build great web, mobile, and IoT applications. First thing for building great web, mobile, and IoT applications is those applications need to be highly responsive. The user interface can't be sluggish. No one wants to wait for features to execute. And so Couchbase has focused huge energy on making sure that we provide a very high-performance solution, and we believe that we're a leader in providing both consistent low latency as well as very high throughput in our solutions. Second, you're building, even if you're a medium-sized digital economy business, you need to operate at scale. And you need to be able to support peak periods, whether that's Black Friday or Cyber Monday or Valentine's Day or peak period associated with a new product launch. So we focus significant energy on making sure that we provide an extremely scalable solution, one that's very easy to scale and that one that's highly reliable at scale. Third, you're operating in digital economy businesses that are moving very, very fast, that are highly competitive. You need to be able to give your developers the ability to develop features very rapidly, evolve the solutions very rapidly so that you can be competitive. One of the key areas that's a major focus for our 4.0 release that Ravi Meyeram will come up in just a couple of minutes to talk about is in the area of development and providing the Nickel query language that will make it much easier for developers to develop many of their applications. Fourth, increasingly you have to have great mobile experiences. Many companies are moving to a mobile-first approach, and Couchbase has a very unique solution, one that consists of a lightweight mobile database together with a syncing framework that allows you to very easily sync to a back-end database that sits in the cloud. We're the only NoSQL vendor that provides that capability, and that allows you to provide great mobile experiences that are not dependent on having an internet connection or having a good internet connection. It's another area where we think we've established a clear lead. Next, you're operating global businesses, and you have customers around the world, and so you need to be able to set up data centers around the world to be close to your customers. And Couchbase here has focused tremendous energy on making sure we have a great cross-data center replication capability. And finally, you need a data tier that's easy to manage so that you don't need an army of people in order to manage your infrastructure that sits underneath these web, mobile, and IoT applications. So we're working hard on all of these areas on a release-by-release basis to continue to deliver great capabilities in each of these areas and also to make sure that we continue to expand the use cases and application types that we can support. Now, a year ago at Connect, I talked about the 3 overlapping phases of adoption of NoSQL. I talked about phase 1 being a grassroots developer adoption, where companies are experimenting with NoSQL and generally using it for relatively lightweight applications. I talked about phase 2 starting in early 2013, which is when we saw enterprises, many of you in the audience today, begin to deploy NoSQL for your most mission-critical, business-critical applications. That was a major step in the industry and certainly a major step for Couchbase, and we have many, many customers that are now deploying Couchbase under their most mission-critical applications. And I also talked about phase 3, which is when we felt companies would begin to broadly deploy NoSQL across many, many of their digital economy businesses. And the great news is that we're seeing lots of early signs of many companies beginning to take that step and beginning to use NoSQL very broadly within their companies. I'm thrilled that over the next couple of days, we have many of our customers here today presenting. We have many internet companies presenting, but we also have many of what you would think of as kind of the established companies that are leaders in their particular digital economy businesses. And I'd like to just highlight three so you can get an idea of what companies are doing with NoSQL and with Couchbase. One area of the digital economy that's right now undergoing huge change is the television industry. DirecTV is one of the leaders in that space. They're the #1 satellite broadcast provider in the United States, and they provide more than 200 channels and access to more than 20,000 on-demand movies through a series of subscription packages and plans. As a part of their strategy to grow, they want to provide their customers with a much better experience and much better capability to navigate and pay for content that's relevant to them. And as a part of this strategy, they're building a world-class user interface using Couchbase that consists of a complex set of rules that's a key part of their next-generation television guide. DirecTV is one of the earlier users of Nickel, our new query language. They've had tremendous success with it, and so I encourage you to go see this presentation if you want to learn more about that. It's a great example of a leader in their digital economy business moving to NoSQL and Couchbase in a bigger and bigger way. A second area of the digital economy that's growing very rapidly is small companies moving to cloud-based financial services. According to a recent study, more than 70% of small companies will move to cloud-based financial services by 2020. Intuit is one of the leaders in this space, and one of the key products that are a part of their strategy to move to the cloud is TurboTax. Their objective by 2017 is to shift 70% of their business from desktop package software to the cloud. And again, TurboTax is one of the key parts of that strategy. In 2015, TurboTax processed more than 21 million tax returns online. That's about 80% of the total that were filed using TurboTax. Intuit is using Couchbase as a part of their strategy to move to a microservices architecture that they envision will provide much higher performance at much greater scale. Obviously, during tax season is when they have a significant peak in their particular business. So I encourage you to go see this presentation as well. Finally, I talked about the Internet of Things as it's expected to be more than a $7 trillion business by 2020. One of the early leaders in this space is GE. GE has made huge investments in Predix, which is a software platform for what they call the industrial internet. Jeffrey Immelt, their CEO, recently commented that they expect more than $1 billion of incremental revenue to come from 40 Internet of Things applications that range from monitoring wind turbines to providing solutions for healthcare to Rail Connect, which they describe as the air traffic control system for the rail network. Immelt also said that GE is monitoring and analyzing more than 50 million sensors associated with, 50 million data elements associated with 10 million sensors that are associated with more than $1 trillion in hard assets, all focused on the objective of eliminating unplanned downtime. This is a great example of an Internet of Things company actually using Couchbase's mobile solution, again, this lightweight database with a syncing technology, and then use Couchbase in the back-end cloud as well. So I encourage you to check out this presentation, particularly if you're interested in Internet of Things. Now, just to wrap up, and before I bring Ravi on board, just emphasize that our mission is really to provide the most comprehensive and general-purpose NoSQL database that supports a very broad set of web, mobile, and IoT applications, supports a very broad set of use cases and application types, and with our 4.0 release. It's our biggest release ever. We think it significantly expands the use cases and applications that we support, and we think and hope it's a critical step forward in our goal to be your trusted partner for your digital economy businesses. With that, I'd like to bring Ravi Mayaram up on stage so he can talk to you a lot more about the 4.0 release and all the exciting things that are a part of it. Ravi.
I will talk about many of the stuff, but at a high level. There are a lot of great sessions to go to get to know more of the details. We also have a cool demo that will showcase how all these technologies come together